Welcome, everybody. This is a meeting of the Nevada Unified School District Board of Trustees. It's January 10th. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, we have a full house this evening. It's nice to see a lot of students here. We really appreciate you being here tonight. The board did meet in closed session. I will have Trustee Jacobson report out our closed session items.
Tonight's closed session included 3 items. 1, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session, public employee discipline dismissal release was given, information only. Number 2, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957 and 54957.6, conference with labor negotiator Barbara Varankovich, attorney with Daniver Walliver Kelly, Employee Organization California State Employees Association, information only. And 3, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session pursuant of Government Code 54957 and 54957.6, conference with labor negotiator Barbara Varankovich, attorney Daniver Walliver Kelly. We'll get that right next week, we hope. Employee Organization Nevada Federation of Teachers was information only as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Approving tonight's agenda this evening, board members, it stands as is. There's no changes to the process and the lineup, so I need an motion to approve tonight's agenda. If I could, first by Trustee Mack, second by Trustee, oh my God, I apologize. Oh my goodness. All right, all those in favor to approve the agenda? 7-0 and 1 advisory. Thank you. Announcements, consent agenda. Is there anybody, any trustees like to pull anything? We do have one change. It's item 14O. There was just a minor change made to Board Bylaw 9323.
I'd like to pull item J.
Okay, so we have Trustee Miller pulling item J.
And I don't know if we have somebody to speak to it, but I have some comments.
Okay, this is the E-rate technology purchases. Any other trustees pulling an item? Seeing none, I need a motion to approve the consent excluding item J.
I will move the consent agenda excluding item J.
Okay, and a second. Okay, by Trustee Pickus is our second. All those in favor? 7-0 and 1 advisory. Okay, and then we'll move to your, do you want to
it'll be quick,
now?
So if we do it right now, that'd be great.
Tim,
and that way, if Tim's here, he can go home
Lois
early.
is here. Okay.
Tim's not here?
Lois is here. So
Lois, you can either, you and I can have a quick conversation. So I had a chance to talk to Tim and Dana over last couple of days and review what this particular item, and I thought it useful. The rest of us hear the same comment. So tell me if I got this wrong. So basically, the primary item in this is a renewal of the software license for the switches. That's the large dollar item. It's the last dollar item. Instead of buying new switches, we have extended the license for 5 years. The switches are running fine. They've been monitoring their maintenance. There is no additional cost. There's nothing that suggests that they're at end of life. The vendor has not declared an end of life date. So the choice to extend the licensing and keep the same physical devices is the smart choice. It's about 20% or less of the cost than replacing them. So that's the choice they did. The funding for that item, half of it comes out of E-rate, more or less. It depends
60%.
on how 60% comes out of E-rate, and the other comes out of the general fund. But without licensing, if you call for help, the vendor says, no, we didn't give you the most recent security update, and no, we're not going to answer your call. So it's not a choice item, it's a have-to-do item.
Correct.
And then the amount of E-rate money that's left in the 5-year budget, this is like a third or less than half of the total E-rate, so the other E-rate money will come to us next year when other stuff starts falling out of, coming to end of life. So it sounded to me like they have an overall strategy. Lois, if you have any other comments or any additional information you'd want to share with?
I think the biggest piece is that these days they're doing E-rate in 5-year increments, which is different than they have in the past. It used to be year to year. You'd deal with how you wanted to use that subsidy, basically, from the government. So the new 5 years is coming up, and we will make a plan and figure out the best way to use that for our district.
And this is part of a plan. This is part of a plan.
This is the last 5 years.
Yeah.
This is the end of the current 5-year increment. I think that's it.
I think that's it. I just wanted to have a little more complete picture for everybody to understand that they were thinking, your team was thinking long-term, the 5-year strategy, not the what do I need to do today strategy.
Correct.
So for that, I would like to move item J.
Okay, so we have a first by trustee Miller for item J, a second by trustee Gasson. All those in favor to approve item J? 7-0 and 1 advisory.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we'll move on to announcements of the board and student board members and presentations. But before we do so, just if you want to speak before any item on the agenda or not on the agenda, please fill out a blue card, which will be located at the tables over there. And each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. And you'll come up right up to the microphone when I call your name. And the timer is over there. So just to give you a forewarning, just before we get into those items where you could speak to or non-agenda public item. So you know the process a little bit. All right, so moving on to announcements. I will start with Novato High. Hi.
Hello, good morning. This last week, we had our mid-year class assembly for the seniors. We announced just what's to come for the year, and we got a prom venue and our theme. We're doing a night in Vegas at the Pearl in San Francisco. It's a fun rooftop venue. We had some athletic excellence. Josh Pena won the National Football Foundation $1,000 scholarship from Marin, which is awesome. And we have the spring fair coming up next Wednesday, so we're renewing in new clubs, just fun stuff. And then studio night for theater on Friday, which is like a really fun master class. You get to watch how MSA Theater does their process. And then further in the future, we have Romeo and Juliet coming up for Words and Music for theater on the 27th through the 29th, which is very cool. I am in it if you want to see it.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No comments. Thank you very much.
Okay. Trustee Pickus?
So as a part of the onboarding for the two of us, it's been really exciting. Today we spent the day visiting San Marin and Pleasant Valley and Sinaloa. So just a thank you to the teachers and the administrators and all the staff who sort of opened their doors to us. It was really exciting to be on campus and to see the different things happening at different sites. We got to see some of our new facilities, the gym at Sinaloa, which is beautiful, and seeing the facilities for our food services teams. It looks beautiful. It's really exciting. So Measure G funds at work. Really excited to see more of it. Thank you for taking us around today.
Sure. Trustee Lametta?
Yeah, it was really nice to spend time in Sinaloa, San Marin, and Pleasant Valley. I'm super thankful for teachers for opening their classroom during lunch so that students would be able to eat their lunch or watch TV, like this movie was playing. So it was just really nice to see the things that students are working on. Thank you.
Trustee Gasson?
I'm starting to think my girls saw you today. I think I had been jumping back into the things happening at school sites. Went to the North Marine Council PTA meeting on Friday. Participated in the communications group last week as well. I have JLAC tomorrow, which I'm really looking forward to. Already have a brief summary of the governor's budget. Was a little disappointed, but it wasn't unanticipated that there's a $22.5 billion shortfall, or budget gap is what they're calling it. And so some of the highlights and things that will be changing coming forward will be of help to learn about tomorrow. So.
Yeah. Trustee Mack?
Nothing to report, but I'll be attending that call tomorrow as well.
Okay. Trustee Jacobson?
I was also at the communications meeting, and I had the pleasure of going over to Marin Oaks for their holiday celebration before the break, which was beautiful.
Okay. I have nothing to add. Superintendent Derby?
Okay, it's my turn. So Blaine, you didn't talk about the event prior to the break where you were the MC at the intergenerational talent show. I was there, and he could be a comedian because he and another young darling girl were the
Victoria,
MCs, and they were fabulous. And so they had creatively done the announcements around the next act of what they were going to be doing. It was like so cool. So I wanted to tell you, I was so proud of you, clapping in the back.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, and San Marin had theirs Friday night, so that was great. I did not get to attend. I was sorry not to be able to do that, but I heard it was fabulous. And Drew Gasparini, I guess, was there. I'm thinking that that's who it was, and he's in New York on Broadway. So fabulous. We should really do a big shout out for Novato Charter School. They got the State Distinguished School Award for their academic achievement. We need to honor them here. I think it's really important for us to have Nikki and Karina come and so that we can in person do that. That'll be fabulous. Our intent to return forms are going out tomorrow. So for students and staff, we would like to know how many families are coming back to our school so we could start planning our staffing. That'll be really important. I do want to do a shout out to Olive and the MOT who cleaned up a 3-inch water damage at our brand new building at Olive and just did stellar work and are going to be moving back in this week. So that was really great. I am going to announce the all-league players for Novato High tonight, but I'm going to wait until we have the San Marin team here next week. When on the 24th, when you're in a school that's winning, everybody's noticing everything. But when you're in a school that is rebuilding, some of the athletes don't get the recognition that they deserve. And some of our kids are playing both ways. So I wanted to see, all league, I wanted to mention the honorable all league offense and defense. Kai Patel goes both ways. He's offense and defense, and so he was honorable mention all league. Noah Gibbs from Novato High, Connor Mulvaney, and so they worked their hearts out, and I was so proud to be able to see them in the paper and to see that they were recognized and to know that we were honoring them. Now, there's a lot of San Marin, but we'll do those when they come because they're going to be here on the 24th. So that's the important thing that I do really want to talk about is this blue sheet that's at your table tonight. We have our interventions set for our middle schools and our high schools for supporting kids in all of our areas of youth violence and decision-making and bullying. And so I just wanted to run through who the people are that are coming in. So Michael Pritchard's starting at the middle schools, both at Sinaloa and San Jose and Hamilton. He'll be doing lunch meetings each week with the kids. There'll be 20 to 25 kids for the first session, and then he'll do a second 6-week session. And the COVID funds are paying for all of this because it's intervention for our kids to get back on track. So we're really excited. Michael Crispo Atkinson, who runs CrossFit, who is this amazing young man. His wife is Emily Atkinson, the Sinaloa PE teacher, and he's going to be doing a resiliency project. And so he's going to join Michael for lunch with the kids, which is going to be great at our schools. And then he's going to be doing strength training at CrossFit for both San Jose and Sinaloa. So that's going to be very exciting. The next one that's going on is already in process. It's called The Turn. It's at Novato High, San Marin, and Marin Oaks. And Kessa Early's foundation that she has is funding that for all 3 of the schools, which is a really very generous thing on her part. What I've been looking into, and nothing's going to be available for 5th grade until after February. It's called GREAT, G-R-E-A-T, and it is a gang resistance education training. That's a federal program, and Bill Welch and his team are going to get trained, and then they'll come into our 5th grades because we do need to do some training in the elementaries. The parent training that is already getting started that we're really excited about is MUNE, and that's a healing resource center, and they work directly with the parents on how to work with your kids and how to heal yourself from trauma that you've had and how to move forward after tragedy. So I'm really excited about them as well. The last one I just got today, and it's Play Marin. It's Paul Austin, And you may know his wife, Tanisha Tate, who is the principal at Miller Creek Middle School. And he is designing a whole sports program for us for after school for Sinaloa and San Jose, because Hamilton already has one with their RISE Foundation. So these are all the things we've put in place. I'm very excited that it's come together in such short order and that everybody's so excited about coming forward. So I wanted to share that with you and the community so we know that our interventions are happening for kids, and it's the best. That's it.
That is really good. How can we get this document so that everybody can kind of see it? Maybe I'm thinking maybe one of your community connections have a link to it.
Yeah, I think
That's a suggestion.
Okay. Yeah.
But it gives a lot of great detail that I think would be helpful. Just to-
Super.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Thank you. All right, this is why we're here. This is the best part, presentations. The first one is a presentation and community donation to school fuel. So who would like, I see Kate, and I think I see Susan. This is like Romper Room.
Okay.
If anybody remembers Romper Room.
They're all here. Look at them. Novato High School graduates. What can we say? Woo-hoo!
Welcome.
We approach we approach the mic. Is that okay? Well, yeah, we're here again. We were here last year. We're your friendly neighborhood band, Cougar Bait. We were here last year. Just Mike and I were here last year, but now we have the whole crew. So I wanted to give these guys a shout out. So it's Mike Malone, who's our bass player.
Hi, Mike.
Brad Smith, who's the newest member of the band, our keyboard player. We have Ryan Cloney, he's the drummer. Jeff Fisher plays electric guitar. My name's Damian Dale. We were here last year. We did a show at the Hop Monk. We raised $4,000 that we donated to school fuel. And then through a corporate donation, we had that matched through a Disney corporate donation. So we did it again this year. We did a show at the Hop Monk, and we did a show for the Marin Sheriff's Department, who our drummers are Marin Sheriff. And instead forgotten, forwent our fee for that, and so we added that to the donation for this year. So we have a big check for $7,500, and we're working on the same thing this year with Disney to have them match this. So that's in progress. So this will be much bigger donation when that comes through. So that's our story.
We have Susan Matthews and Kate McNear here from School Fuel.
And one more thing, and then this year, November 11th, we're doing it again at the Hop Monk. Again, everything's going to go to school fuel, so yeah, tell a friend.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So grateful. Thank you so much.
Do you want to?
great.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I went to the show this year. I didn't know about it until after it happened last year. And you guys put on an amazing show. It was so much fun. And so hopefully you guys will all make it next year. They're fantastic.
Great. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, and now moving on to San Jose Middle School. Mariah Fisher is here to represent the musical theater group.
Good evening. Thank you. I have flyers, if you didn't already get one. I put them on your desks before. We are so excited about this show. It's just going to be spectacular. These kids, if I talk too much about them, I will cry, so I'm going to cut straight to the chase. They're amazing. It's going to be a memorable, we're really working on a community event. We have a dress-up day for the elementary kids. We're giving out wands. It's a Valentine's event like no other. It's just going to be a really, really fun week. And so we have 2 songs to share with you this evening. One in the beginning of the play, and then we're going to jump all the way to the end. We have all of the leads are double cast, so we have 2 Annas and 2 Elsas, and then our amazing ensemble. So please enjoy.
Graduation day.
For years I've roamed these empty halls. Why have a ballroom with no balls? Finally they're opening up the gates. There'll be actual real life people. It'll be totally strange. But wow, am I so ready for this change. For the first time in forever, there'll be music, there'll be light. For the first time in forever, I'll be dancing through the night. Don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere in that zone. 'Cause for the first time in forever, I won't be alone. I can't wait to meet everyone. What if I meet the one? Tonight imagine me gown and all, fetchingly draped against the wall, a picture of sophisticated grace. I'll suddenly see him standing there, a beautiful stranger, tall and rare. I want to stuff some chocolate in my face, but then we laugh and talk all evening, which is totally bizarre. It's nothing like the life I've led so far. For the first time in forever, there'll be magic, there'll be fun. For the first time in forever, I could be noticed by someone. And I know it is totally crazy to dream I'd find romance, but for the first time in forever, at least I've got a chance. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, put on a show. Make one wrong move and everyone will know. But it's only for today. It's only for today. It's agony to wait. Tell the guards to open up the gate. For the first time. For the first time in forever, the gates are open wide. And I know it all ends tomorrow, so it has to be today. 'Cause for the first time in forever, for the first time in forever, nothing's in my way. Before our next song, we'd just like to say happy birthday to Miss Fisher. I nailed that. Okay. It's a little tall. I know, Becca wanted it up. Can I be on that side, on this side? Okay. There's so much I've longed to say, it all beginning with today. It's like a dream I thought could never be. Elsa, you're free. Let it go, let it go. Show us what you can do. Let it go, let it go. The magic one is you. Here we stand in the this warmth within and send it up above. Goodbye to dark and fear, let's fill this world with light and love. And here surrounded by a family at last. We're never going back, the past is in the past. Let it go, and we'll rise like the break of dawn. Let it go, the fear and cold are gone. Here we stand in the light of day. Let our true love grow. Let it go.
I started the vibrato
Just a brief reality check. They're in 7th and 8th grade, so they are just spectacular. Please, I would love to see you all. You'll want to see both casts, so come twice. Yeah, thank you so much for having us. Yeah.
Could you just talk about the funding to go to Frozen and how you got that?
Yeah, so I have an incredible boosters, SJMS boosters. They're amazing. And our mission is that our performances are free for all kids. And so through our mission to do that, we have sponsors sponsor kid tickets. And so we work really hard publicizing this opportunity to sponsor kids. So if you give $10, then that's one kid ticket. If you donate $50, that's 5 kids for free. And last year we were thinking we would only do it for one play, but we made so much. We made all plays free, and then we're going with that moving forward. So we're always looking for sponsors. With an amazing board comes amazing ideas and creative energy that's really expensive. So sponsors are wonderful. But yeah, all kid tickets are free.
Okay, and one more thing about you took the kids to the city.
Yes,
Yeah.
so school fuel, with a school fuel grant. We went on December 21st. People think we don't work on those 2 weeks, but I took 40 students to see Frozen in San Francisco. So it was an incredible, all expenses paid. I felt like, it was just a wonderful opportunity for our kids. So
Just amazing. You're doing incredible work with the kids, and it shows, and they are amazing. We're all coming, so we'll be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that I have a 2 and a 4 and 7-year-old. We're already talking about Frozen, and I hope they can meet the cast because they really want to meet all of you. They're like, is it really Anna? Is it really them? They're very excited.
So we do this really fun thing. These tickets are not free, but I do end up letting everybody come in, so it's fine. But we have VIP seats where you get a goodie bag, and in that you get a pen and you get a meet and greet with the cast after the show. And I got that idea actually from San Marin, because when I taught art there, I would bring my kids to the plays all the time, and we saw a play there, and they thought they had really met Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Sorry, I'm outing you, but they really thought they had met, and it was amazing. So we do it. The kids love it. My kids love it as much as the little kids do. So they feel like celebrities.
My grandkids are gonna compete your kids for the seats.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Thank you
really
so
great.
much.
Yeah. Thank you. And thank you to the students. Really amazing job. Fabulous. Really good. Thank you for being here this evening. You've kicked off our board meeting really good. And this is taking place at the Novato High Performing Arts Center. So to the community listening in here, if you want to see an amazing group of kids perform and an amazing facility, it's all in one. So thank you. Happy birthday. Enjoy your rest of your night. And so we'll move on to our next presentation. This is from San Marin Elementary. We choose San Ramon. Yeah. What did I say? San Marin. Same area. San Ramon Elementary. And I see Amanda Langford is working her way up here.
It's always the best when we have the kids here. We have so much fun.
Good evening, trustees. I'm Amanda Langford, the principal of San Ramon Elementary School. Good morning, or good evening, Dr. Derby and Nevada community. So we are here tonight to share a little bit about a new program that we started this year with our TK through first grade called Dolphin Lab. So I don't know if you remember from our board presentation, we talked about how one of our goals is really trying to individualize instruction as much as we can. And with that in mind, and also knowing what our youngest kids, the experiences they haven't had with preschool, unfortunately due to the pandemic, with some of the social situations and different learning opportunities they didn't have, we created the Dolphin Lab. And so what that looks like is during our universal access time, so 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, kindergarten and TK get an hour of going to a makerspace in one of our extra classrooms, the Dolphin Lab. And then first grade gets an hour as well. And this is paid for with ELO money, so we appreciate that. And 2 of our retired teachers came back and they run the Dolphin Lab. So kids have an amazing experience of getting to create and play together. And I'm going to show you a short little video and then somebody share a couple things for you. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay.
Do you have a name for it? No?
What are you making, G? Make a space for kids to communicate.
Filled with lots of stuff and lots of opportunities for them to be able to create and do some of the different things with their friends that they like to enjoy. So I have a couple guests here with me. I have Samuel and Wyatt and Rosie, and this is Kim Gallagher. She's a 4th grade teacher at San Ramon and also a part-time TOSA with us. So, and a mom. And she's right next door to the Dolphin Lab. So Samuel, so you brought something to share. Do you want to tell them a little bit about what you made?
I made some dolphin art at Dolphin Lab.
Nice. And what is that exactly?
A leprechaun trap.
Very good job. What is one of your favorite things about Dolphin Lab?
What I brought.
Good job. So Wyatt, you were in some of those pictures. You like to do a lot of the activities. What are some of the different things you like to do in Dolphin Lab?
Play with Connect Sand.
So we have Connect Sand, and what about blocks? Do you play with some of the blocks sometimes? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Ms. Rosie, what did you bring today to show that you like to do?
I made a book for my mom.
And you drew a picture.
Rosie, what are some of your favorite things to do in Dolphin Lab?
To do a coloring for my mom.
And so Kim, as a parent and teacher, what are some of the reports that you get about Dolphin Lab from your kids?
Well, I love that my classroom is next door to the Dolphin Lab, so I get to see the kids coming and going, and they have the biggest smiles on their faces going in and going back out. It's most of their favorite time of the day. I know for Rosie in the morning, if it's Dolphin Lab day, like she wakes up, she's like, Dolphin Lab today, you know? So it's some of the kids too, it's when they feel the most successful in the entire day. So it's important to have all of those aspects of school included.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's a classroom, so each kid gets to do it twice a week, and they bring kids from the different classrooms, so all the kindergartners go together, and there's like 40 kids in that classroom together, and they are on point, they are all busy, they are all working together, they're creating games, and these are some of our bravest little ones here. Samuel's a TKer, Wyatt's a kindergartner, and Rosie's a TKer too. So, yeah. Yeah, so you're welcome to come by anytime and see it. So it's Monday through Thursday from 10:30 to 1:30. Jan's come by, and it's a happy place. Yeah, so. Yeah, the retired teachers are great. And then what's nice too is so when all of these students go to the Dolphin Lab, so then the kindergarten and first grade and TK teachers are left with 6 to 8 kids. And so that's where the individualized instruction comes. So they're able to really run small groups. And like we mentioned, a lot of kids, not as many kids were able to go to preschool and have those same experiences. And so we're really able to work with them on their academics and other skills. So it's been great.
Yeah. Leslie? Oh, here she, a photo? I'm glad you highlighted this, Amanda, because you did talk about it last month with your site plan. So I'm glad you made this as your highlight for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good connection because when we're talking about the data specialists and
Use your
dividing
mic.
up for, and dividing up for intervention and doing the small class size so that we really can tailor instruction, this is a perfect example of it. So thanks for making those connections. I agree with Deb.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a win for the kids in Dolphin Lab and a win for the kids that get to stay with their teacher.
Right.
So it's time well spent.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for coming this evening. All right, that concludes our presentations this evening, which was a great kickoff, as I said earlier. We'll move on. We'll actually let the room, some parents and kids
guys,
to leave
thank
first
you.
before we move forward.
Bye. Bye. That's right. That's right. Come on, let's go. You're out of here?
Yeah, I am.
See ya.
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming.
Mariah, great. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
The woman with her back to us in the black is Jan's daughter. With the pony. With her.
In the house.
Jenny Derby. Jenny Derby.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why we're going to call you out.
She's heading back to Dubai. She's teaching over there. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to, we do not have any non-agenda public comment, which is unusual, but let's enjoy the moment. Staff reports. Let's move to our first. This is our one and only staff report. This is the survey results of students no longer attending Nevada Unified School District. And Leslie Benjamin is here as every year to present this item.
Yes, thank you very much, President Butler. Good evening. As President Butler said, these are the results of our students that are no longer attending a Nevada Unified School. And there we go. And so this is the 7th year of surveying families. And 350 students did not continue with NUSD this year, which was down from 440 from last year. So I do a year-to-year comparison of how many students haven't come. However, the survey itself and is about the respondents. And so 297 emails were sent out with the link, and we received 97 responses, which was lower than previous years, but we still got a good response. Interestingly, even though we got a lower response, of those respondents, a higher percentage indicated they had moved out of the area. So I found that kind of interesting. And also, it was again, a decrease in student loss compared to 2020 and to 2021. And the loss was lower than, since we have 7 years, than 2016 through 2018. So I thought that was a encouraging trend. And then from the respondent data, also less elementary students leaving compared to 20 and 21. So if I do that. And where did they go? Every year, I've had questions about where do the students go, and for all of ones that we've been tracking, they've all gone down. As you can see from Marin Christian Academy, of the respondents, 1 indicated they went there, down from 21 in 2021. However, Marin Catholic, there was 8, up from 2 from last year. So I'm hoping this is a good trend for us. And why did they go? Well, some of the reasons given that they were attending a private school, which was 11 or 12%. And for everything that we've seen, it's a decrease from 2021 and 2020. Now, the second reason for lack of a challenging curriculum, there is an error there. It should really be 15 or 16%. And a decrease from 20 in 2021 and 22 from 2020. So other respondents, all of the reasons, everything is just a little bit less. So I'm optimistic. The number of students, another reason why they said they left was because the number of students, again, it was a decrease. And safety showed up this year as a reason that they left, and that was at 14%. 13 respondents said that, and we hadn't had a significant response to that in previous years. Thank you. I am short and succinct.
There was a lot of data behind all of this.
There
so
is a
thank
lot of
you,
data
and you
behind it,
provided all the
yes.
questions and the results of those questions. Any board members? Trustee Millerick and then Trustee Mack.
For clarification, I'm looking at page 2, and under student attending other schools, for example, Marin Christian Academy, it says 1 down from 21. I assume that means the 21 were already measured in the year prior. We assume they're continuing at Christian Academy.
Correct.
And that there's 1 additional
Well, I mean,
student.
they could have come.
I mean, you don't know.
So that
because-
the 21 represents the respondents in that year who indicated they had gone to Marin Christian Academy.
Right, so, I mean, we could read it, we don't know what happened to those 21 for all we know they moved to Nevada, but it's 1 more over the 21. I mean, I'm looking at people making a decision through COVID, and then there's a large initial move, and then it's slowed down, is the way
Yes.
I'm looking at this. Do you
Yes.
think that's a fair way of looking at the data?
Yes, that is a fair way.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Mack?
So you're just saying how the percentages seem to go down and all the reasons, and that's largely because probably people just moved out of the area? So
Well, there was
more
a
of the
higher
reason?
there was a higher percentage of people, of the respondents, who indicated that they have moved.
Right.
And I mean, this is, a survey monkey, so I can't say it's statistically significant. However, just at a blush, I kind of glean a little bit that maybe that's an indication that more people had moved.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to say thank you for doing this. I know that's something we started about 7 years ago, and you've been refining it and refining it.
Yes.
And really appreciate it. And I want us to definitely keep going, even though, yes, it's a short presentation. It's valuable for us to know.
There's a lot of information in here.
There is. And, we do have some recurring themes, safety's a little bit newer. But I think we just take this into account when we put together our plans. And I would love to know in that when we talk about going to secondary, Marin Catholic 8, how much of that is happening between 9th and 10th? Between 8th and 9th, going in, or is it while they're already at?
I think it's 8th and 9th, and I can
it is too.
tease out that data if you'd like that.
Anyway, there's only 8 of them, so it's not very statistically significant. So, but thank you, and I would just want to encourage. Let's keep doing this. It's good data. So,
Trustee Gasson, and then Superintendent Derby's got a comment.
No, go ahead. Thanks, Leslie. I'm really glad that we've been doing this and for providing like the historical numbers too, because I started before I looked at it, I was like, oh, I need to go find, and I'm like, oh, it's all right here. A couple of things, and if you mentioned it within the context, I apologize, but I noticed that there was 3 categories on the last page about the what happened with the kids, the different topics, and you touched on school safety coming up, and then there's special ed and school site administration. Are those things that just happen to happen on this particular year, or have they always been areas that somebody could comment and then they didn't?
On the sheet, I put ones that had a higher percentage. I think if you went into, I attached the survey itself, you could go in there and dig into it. But I tried to capture the ones that really rose to the top.
Okay, because the other areas were all 0, so I didn't know if that was just like a new thing that they could select as being the reason on the survey.
Yeah.
So, okay. And then the other question I had, actually I had 2 other small things. On the very first page, for next time, I was wondering if it would be an easy add to put the percentage of the students that we lost. I like the number, but also because we have been declining, the percentage of who we've lost might change too. Does that make sense?
It does. And I'm wondering if I could go back. You
don't have to go back on it.
For me, I used to be a financial analyst, and I like trend data. And so one of the reasons I have a spreadsheet that has all the years is that I like to see the comparison from year to year. So I think if we're going to do it a percentage of our population, that might be another good indicator.
Yeah.
So I think that would be somewhat easy to go back, but I like that percentage of total students.
Yeah, I just thought since we've been going down, even though the number, is the percentage of students that we're losing about the same?
Right.
Versus, although the number of students is important, obviously, because of what it connects to. Yeah. And then the only thing I was just going to make a comment about, as I was looking at the reasoning, and I think for me, when I think of lack of challenging curriculum, I thought, initially at the front, that feels like, oh, there's just, we're just not offering as a district interesting stuff. But I kind of pulled it down more and thought it's not so much about the curriculum, but maybe that, especially now, I would expect that might increase a little bit because with COVID, kids have the classes now have such a range of abilities because some kids had more opportunities during COVID or caught stuff easier, and so the classrooms seem like are really spread. So whereas we might have good curriculum and challenge, it's just harder because there's kids that maybe aren't going as fast, and so I think it slows things down a little bit, and that might be what the parents are picking up on. Does that make sense? The difference? So not necessarily the curriculum, but just that the pace at which things are going is just a little bit slower than they might have liked. I don't know. For me, it's a distinction because that's what. Again, I don't think it's our curriculum per se. I think it's just the speed at which we're trying to work with everybody.
Okay. All right. Superintendent Derby had a comment, and then I'll come to you.
I just wanted to share that Leslie first presented this to the cabinet, and tomorrow she's presenting to the secondary principals, and then we'll do the elementary principals on Thursday, because I think it's important for us to work with the schools about the perceptions, and then what are we doing to address them, whether it's through PTA meetings or whether community meetings or whatever we're doing, so that when we're doing our school tours, we can address whatever questions might be coming up. So it'll be good for us to do the next 2 days to work with the principals. So.
Okay. Trustee Jacobson?
I also picked up on that, what Trustee Gaston was talking about, and I had a little different thought that I thought I might share. One of the benefits of PBE, which I'm always saying how much I love, is that they're teaching to the 3 and the 3-5 of the scale, and then there's the 4. And so with every standard that its class has, there is room for extra for students that are ready for it, which is beautiful. And it really allows for students of all learning areas to be challenged. So I was happy about that, and we maybe just need to find ways that parents hear about that.
All right, Trustee Pickus?
Thank you. This is really interesting to see, and I love that we're tracking trends over a couple of years. And the information that we got, the comments were redacted, so we didn't know which school sites and where things were happening. Were there? I imagine some of it, you're like, okay, we know what that is. We dealt with that. Were there any surprises in this data that came forward? Was there anything that was new? Like when you look at this, is there new information that comes forward that's helpful and how forms?
Well, I've
informs
mentioned
what we
this
do?
about the moving. That surprised me. That was a higher percentage given the lower percentage of respondents. And safety did rise to the top, but in a way I'm not surprised given some of the incidents over the last few months. But everything else seemed similar. Yes. But it was the moving that really struck me.
That's generally, though, people leaving California, so we expect that to be leaving Nevada as well. So.
Yeah.
All right, Trustee Millerick?
So in addition to this data where we're able to identify individuals because we know the families where they've chosen to leave, we have also seen an increase in enrollment in the district over time. Have we done any, I know it's more difficult to figure out, well, why did somebody come to Novato? Have you done any looking at where the growth in enrollment is coming from?
Haven't really specifically spent any time on that. I think at the beginning of the school year, Superintendent Derby, I think we looked at where the enrollment went up, but we didn't really drill down into that.
Okay. It's a harder topic, obviously, because
It
they're
is.
easier to get your arm. You can't identify them so specifically.
Do you ever, when you get like a transfer in or something, like say what school were you at before? Is there just like when you do your enrollment, does it say where did you come from or something? I mean, it may not be something you'd have to survey, but.
On some of the transfers, yes, they do have, I'm thinking of the transfers from kindergarten in TK where their preschool or something was mentioned, and it does say other schools, and so there are some transfers that come from private schools. It's a mix, yeah.
Or families that went to homeschooling and now have come back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Nova and came back.
Or Nova and yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, if this is a staff report, if there's no other questions or comments, we'll continue to move on. Thank you, Leslie, again, for presenting and collecting all the data. All right, moving into our discussion action items. This is 13A. This is approval resolution number 13 for 2022-23, reviewing and approving a Nevada Unified School District certificated seniority list.
All right, good evening. So this item you have here is a resolution. You have included there our seniority list by seniority date. So you can see all of the amazing staff that we have here in Novato. This list is, the protocol is it does get disseminated out to the members for review and any comments or requests for things they believe need to be corrected, things like that. So that has gone through that process, and now we're bringing this to you. And just to speak to you, kind of the importance behind this is in reviewing and approving our seniority list. It's, hopefully we don't get to a point of having to have any reductions, but it's an important step in that process, establishing the seniority of our certificated staff.
Questions? Trustee Gasson.
Just, do we have to do this now for classified?
Yes,
Okay, so is that
classified.
coming?
Yes, classified will be coming to the first meeting in February.
Okay, thank you.
If there's no other questions or comments, this is a discussion action. And this is a resolution, so I will be doing a roll call vote. So if I could. Okay, so we have first by Trustee Millerick, second. Trustee Jacobson, thank you. All those in favor? Oh, I'll do a roll call vote. What am I doing? Trustee Millerick. We're going to do a roll call vote because it's a... Aye. Trustee Pickus. Trustee Lametta. Trustee Gasson.
Aye.
Trustee Mack.
Aye.
Trustee Jacobson.
Aye.
Trustee Butler is aye. Okay, that passes 7-0. We don't have a copy of that in our folder here,
Oh,
so
I'll be happy to.
yeah,
provide
maybe
that to
before if you
guys.
could before we leave, it would be nice. We can get it done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go
At least I didn't see it in there. All right. Again, HR again. Franny is still here for a new classified unrepresented job description, mental health clinician.
Yeah, so this job description is new, and it is for a new position to be posted, pending your approval of the job description. It is going to be placed on a classified unrepresented salary schedule, one that also is where the occupational therapists are also placed on that schedule. The new position is, you're hiring folks that may have like a MFT license or another license like that, but they're not they don't hold necessarily a PPS in school psychology credential like our psychologists do. Right now, as the cover kind of tries to explain, our psychologists are managing the workload of both assessment and counseling. And as you're very aware, we are still remain short-staffed in terms of school psychologists. So in being able to bring on these staff, and it could be potentially as many as 2.4 FTE that we could potentially hire, they will relieve some of that burden of the counseling piece off of our short-staffed psychologists. And that way and particularly any of the unfilled FTE that's still out there can be taken on the counseling piece of it. So, yep.
Questions about the job description? Okay. Anybody want to make a motion if there's no questions or comments? I'll move. How about that?
I'll second.
And a first by Trustee Butler and a second by Trustee Mack to approve the job description for mental health clinician. All those in favor?
Great.
7-0.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, with Lois Standring is coming up for the next two items.
Good evening again. These are housekeeping items. You actually approved these items at the last meeting, but we failed to do a roll call vote because they were resolutions. So both this and the next item just need you to go through the roll call.
Yeah, okay.
Of resolution number 11.
Okay. And Trustee Mack is, so first by Trustee Millerick, a second by Trustee Mack. Yes?
We already approved the resolution, so we already have a first and a second, just recorded from December, so we just literally.
We're just reinventing that evening.
Okay.
Okay, so roll call.
I will defer to whatever.
So you want me to, I can just do a roll call then, straight roll call. Okay. Trustee Millerick.
Aye.
Trustee Pickus.
Aye.
Trustee Lametta.
Aye.
Trustee Gasson.
Aye.
Trustee Mack.
Aye.
Trustee Jacobson.
Aye.
Trustee Butler is aye. So that passes 7-0. The next item.
Same thing.
Same thing. So I will just do a roll call vote. Trustee Millerick.
Aye.
Trustee Pickus.
Aye.
Trustee Lametta.
Aye.
Trustee Gasson.
Aye.
Trustee Mack.
Yes.
Trustee Jacobson.
Aye.
Trustee Butler is aye, and that passes as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. That'll never happen again. Okay. All right, our last item this evening. Wow, can you believe it? 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's a record.
Okay, this is our board committee assignments. Again, we decided to move this to January with 2 new board members on our board from December. So I've gone through and put either, you see your names on the very right-hand side. We've added Abby and we've added Magali to some of the committees, and hopefully you've seen those. And I think, is everybody okay just from what they see? And this is through the end of June, and we'll revisit in August and reevaluate everything. If you want to change committees or we'll move people around, we can do it then too. So I think what is important is that we make sure staff knows who is on these committees and that you're getting the dates and getting, if it's a Zoom or if it's a location, you know where to go and everything. I think that we've got to make sure that that happens. So I'll work with Ellen and whoever I can to make sure you get that information. I tried to update the time commitments, try to give you a little more information. Don't hold me to those, but I think it's pretty close to what you see there. You can always double check the district calendar. You can call Ellen to confirm that that meeting is being held and where. Some of them are as to be determined or whenever, as needed, I guess you could say. Some will happen just in the springtime, so we'll get through it though. So like one of the ones is JLAC, which is happening tomorrow. So Magali, you're going to be on. Diane's going to be the representative, but Magali's going to be the alternate. And I know I'm going to be on there just for, I like to just do that, but I'm not listed here, but I'm going to join in. Okay, and then I think that was it. Sorry, Golden Bell. Is anybody interested in the Golden Bell Committee? I was going to put a name there, but then I decided I'll just ask the question tonight. Is anybody committed? And don't do it if you have no time or anything. Don't do it just because there's nobody represented there.
It is an opportunity to get to know the faculty on other school districts because the committee reviews broadly the whole Marin County topic. So that's valuable. I won't be able to do it, but they choose a trustee of the year, an administrator of the year, and then highlight classified and certificated programs of districts that they want to do. Anybody? Okay. So I'll do it then. If nobody can do it.
It's a time I can do, so I could also.
It's up to you.
I can be the alternate.
Okay. I'll do it, and Julie will be the alternate. There you go. Not the end of the world. We'll get it done. All right. I guess that was it. If we're all good, I just need approval, and we'll move forward. Anybody want to approve?
I'll move to approve. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Trustee Lametta is the first.
Yep, good.
And a second by Trustee Mack. Is that what I saw?
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor? 7-0. Okay. All right. That concludes our board meeting this evening. Our next board meeting is the 24th of January. Yes.
Oh.
I'm going to gavel real quick.
We have an important visitor who I've been conversing with throughout the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Lee Del Pan is the new
yes. Yeah, she's been
member
here.
of the MCOE board, and
Yeah.
she represents Supervisorial District 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is Novato. And I know there's some of you she's met, others of you she hasn't.
Okay.
She'd like to meet you.
That's great. Good. Come forward.
How about Magali? Let me just gavel and not Magali. Excuse me. Oh my goodness.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll have a few minutes right after this.
Yeah.
We can sit down and talk.
Yeah.
This would be great.
Okay. So our next meeting is January 24th. It's 6 p.m. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Madam President.